Let's rediscover chocolate pudding. It's easy to make at home, so velvety, so grown up, and so childlike.
When I was little, there was always a kid at school who was so lucky and had a little pot of pudding in their lunchbox. I never had that. It was homemade bread and homemade oatmeal cookies. Looking back, of course, I was the lucky one, but I always wanted that chocolate pudding. So now that I'm an adult, I can't really bring myself to buy that kind of little plastic pudding situation, so I just make it myself, and it's really easy. So start with whole milk, homogenized or 2%, but not skim. You want something somewhat rich. All right, that's a nice hot pan. And to the milk, add some white sugar. I'm going to grab a whisk and just give this a little bit of a stir. It's nice and frothy right now, but that's just because I'm whisking it. What I am looking for is it to just settle down and let little bubbles appear along the edge. Not boil it, but just kind of gently heat it. In the meantime, we are going to sift some cocoa. So if you sift, you're guaranteed to not have any little lumps. The same goes for cornstarch. It also can be a bit lumpy. So we are mixing these together. Just use this little spoon to kind of squish it through. A little pinch of salt into this mixture and some cream. Let's mix this all together. This is a lovely little chocolatey, creamy mixture. But to add that velvety kind of crème anglaise quality, I'm gonna add some yolks. Capture the yolk, crack the egg, just gently pull it apart, and roll the yolk from shell to shell, which just leaves the yolk all by itself. I'm going to whisk the yolks all by themselves here on the side and then just incorporate it through the mixture. This is the critical stage of pudding making because there are raw yolks in here and we have to introduce it to this hot milk. And if we just dumped it all in, we might scramble the yolks. So just take a tiny bit. This is called tempering. Just slowly introducing heat to the yolks. Maybe a little bit more. Going to tip this mixture now into the hot milk. They've already become friends. Tempering has happened. I'm going to use a spatula just to get that last little bit. A little bit. So now, just hang out with your pudding. We are gently whisking, slowly bringing it up to just a bit of a boil, because you do want to cook that cornstarch to take away the raw flavor. Some action happening here just from the whisk alone. So I have large flake coconut here. This is a nice dry, hot fry pan. And this is just the same as toasting nuts. You're just going to leave them to brown all on their own, but keep your eye on them because coconut, like nuts, burn quickly if you leave to answer the door. Speaking from experience. The cast iron handle gets hot, so always have a towel on hand. Toasted coconut is just one of my favorite ingredients. Toast it and stir it through your homemade granola, and it is such a treat. Okay, a nice way to check if the pudding is ready is to see if it coats the back of a spoon. So just draw a line, have a little taste. If the line holds its shape, the pudding is ready. I'm going to add a little dark chocolate just to add even more flavor to this chocolate pudding. So we have a bittersweet chocolate. It's at least 70% cocoa. And a touch of vanilla as well. Yeah, the chocolate is basically already melted. Let's pour it into serving cups. There are nicer ways to keep this tidy. You could ladle it in, use a measuring cup with a spout, but I'm just going to wing it. This is going to serve at least 4 more. You finish with some toasted coconut. I love that crunch when you're eating pudding, the textures all mixing together. Let's finish, just for fun, with a little more dark chocolate. Just grate it on top. This is definitely worth the wait from elementary school when I was eating my homemade oatmeal cookie. Now I have homemade chocolate pudding. Make sure you get some coconut in there. Now that's delicious.
When life gets complicated, eat chocolate pudding. It's that simple.